I will do my daily combat sports news update for all of you. And there wasn't a lot of news today. One big thing that has been in the news is the Dino Bravo Dark Side of the Ring documentary. I did a review of it last night. I also interviewed Jacques Rougeau about it earlier today. I've posted some clips from that interview up already, and the full thing's going to be on patreon.com/thehannibal.tv. Ad-free by tomorrow morning. Hello, Anthony Shabbat. But anyways, my point of why I was talking about this, CM Punk tweeted about the Dino Bravo documentary, and he says that, okay, I'm quoting this, okay, who is the Nordique in bar fight with Bravo and Rougeau? Allegedly, bullshit with a question mark. So CM Punk wants to know who Jacques Rougeau and Dino Bravo allegedly got in a fight with. From the Quebec Nordiques in the story, Rougeau tells in my interview, as well as in Dark Side of the Ring. The more detailed version is actually in my interview, but I asked Jacques about this. I showed Jacques the screenshot of CM Punk's tweet, and he says he doesn't remember the guy's name, but there's a guy named Tony Mule that the Dark Side of the Ring producers are very familiar with, and those guys could ask this Tony Mule guy, and he will let us know who this NHL player was that Bravo and Jacques got into a fight with. And Jacques wanted me to remind CM Punk that he is a very respectful person. And by the way, also I posted a clip of Jacques Rougeau responding to some of the defamatory comments Kevin Owens has been spreading about him over the past, I guess, 10 years or so, as he likes to spread disparaging comments to people and not actually bring these issues up with them to their face. But some of those comments had to do with Jacques Rougeau's wrestling school. I am going to do an individual clip just about my experiences at Jacques Rougeau's wrestling school. Also in the news, I guess one of the excuses that are being made as to why WWE is getting lower and lower ratings every week is more people are watching the news. I would say the real reason is your product sucks and is boring. A lot of wrestling fans, if the product's good, they're going to watch it. As I've said on here many times, my viewership has been going up every week during this lockdown. So more people are in front of their TV sets. Your product sucks. Face it, your product sucks. You guys can blame it on the alleged Hollywood writers, but the head writer of Raw is Paul Heyman. From my understanding, the head writer of SmackDown is Bruce Pritchard, and the head writer of NXT, which has really pathetic ratings, is Triple H. So you guys can blame the Hollywood writers all you want. Last I checked, those three guys were wrestling people. In other combat sports news related to this PFL, for anyone that cares about the PFL, they are releasing some of their roster. They've said they're not going to run any more events this year. I don't even know if they ran any events this year, but according to Dave Meltzer, they haven't really been anything more than a money pit thus far. They said that they are going to keep about, what does it say here, 2/3 of their fighters, and they're going to pay them $1,000 a month as stipend athletes. $1,000 a month is about $250 a week. That might cover an advanced athlete's food for a week. If they have supplement sponsors, maybe they won't need to buy supplements, which, by the way, I would love to have a supplement sponsor. I still buy my own supplements. If someone wants to sponsor me supplements, I see people way less popular than me with supplement sponsors. If anyone wants to sponsor me supplements, I'm always open to try new supplements. All I take right now is creatine and protein and coffee. So that's the news of the day. I looked at the results of NXT and AEW. Nothing stood out to me. Pretty lame shows. I'll get into your questions. Media Palace says, keep up the good content. Thanks, buddy. Gold Gun, I can never take CM Punk serious after his UFC run. A lot of us can't. Although Jeremy Pinklowski, or sorry about your name, would like to see CM Punk come back for one more run, maybe in AEW. Well, I don't know how long his WWE backstage contract is for with Fox, but I do know he cannot work for AEW while he's under that contract, according to what he's said. Momo says 9/11 was an inside job. Someone else says I couldn't even take a slam. Gold Gun. Don't know what that is. What's that all about? Ali Hamid says, what stories do you think should be on season 3 of Dark Side of the Ring? My story of Abdullah the Butcher having hepatitis C and infecting me with the disease and not paying. That's a good one. That one comes to mind. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think would be good ones from stuff I've covered. I think they've covered the majority of the big ones. Maybe one on JBL's bullying. That might be a good one. Dynamite Kid, actually. Dynamite Kid was a way worse bully and a way more legitimate bully than JBL. So actually, Dynamite Kid, who I'm working on a compilation video for right now, thanks to the 9,200 plus people that voted for me to do that. Robert Scott says CM Punk was my favorite back in 2012. There's a lot of CM Punk fans on there. Media Palace says do a compilation on biggest partiers. That might be a good one. You're right about that. I will keep that in my mind. Someone says they're slowly turning into Alf. Maybe I'm not seeing that right. Absolute Boar says Barry Harwich was cool. Are you serious? CM Punk was the Barry Harwich of the UFC. Rolla Lamont says. JC says CM Punk is a wimp. Well, I'll tell you guys something interesting. Not interesting, but I legitimately think Jacques Rougeau would beat up CM Punk in an MMA fight. Honestly, I do. Jacques Rougeau is tougher. Between CM Punk and Kevin Owens, though, I would have to say CM Punk because at least he has the fighting experience. We know CM Punk got beat by Ted Hart, got beat in his 2 UFC matches, but at least he got experience. Kevin Owens has never been in a fight in his life. I don't know why they give a guy with a big beer gut the gimmick of a fighter when he's never been in a real fight or has no credentials of any martial arts of any kind. It's bizarre. CM Punk needs a beating. Someone said, well, I think maybe he hasn't had a bad enough beating. I don't know. Owen Hart needs to be the next Dark Side of the Ring. Well, they did one on him. They're doing one on him. Someone says they missed the CM Punk comment. Fast forward or rewind to the start. Gentlemen, Chris Adams would be a good Dark Side of the Ring. Stu Unger says, I agree with that. J.R. Foley asked Dynamite Kid to break his own daughter's leg so he could collect the insurance on her. I don't know if that's true or not. Michael B says CM Punk was the equivalent to the Mulkey brothers in the UFC. Momo says Punk left it too late for the UFC. You can't be starting that at 37. That's true. He could have probably done Bellator against, well, actually, the second opponent they gave him in UFC was another 0-1 fighter that hasn't fought since. Forrest Griffin, who works in the UFC office, told me when I interviewed Forrest Griffin in the Performance Center, off the record, that they expected CM Punk to win that second fight. So he was given a fight that they actually expected him to win. But I don't know. He had a lot of training with top experts in their field. I wish I had that kind of training that CM Punk had, and he didn't show much improvement. And honestly, I turned off that second fight after I saw him try to throw a spin kick because it was cringy. Oh, John DeRushi, great idea. Pat Patterson for Dark Side of the Ring. He would be a great one. And as a separate one should be that Mel Phillips and Terry Garvin, because from what I understand from my interview with Irv Mushnick, which I posted some clips on up here, and they've done fairly well. The full thing should be up soon. He's written 2 books on the Chris Benoit tragedies, covered all sorts of behind-the-scenes stuff in wrestling for years. But I guess the Mel Phillips and Terry Garvin boys, sexual weird stuff, those cases with the WWE were settled. So there was some legitimacy to those in all likelihood. So that one should almost be on its own. Jason Godfrey says, I miss Brian Pillman and Owen Hart. Brian Pillman would also be a good Dark Side of the Ring. As I'm distracted by a guy that says my update videos are lame as fuck. Well, why do you watch, you moron? I don't watch stuff that's lame. I don't watch Raw because I think it's lame. I don't watch SmackDown because I think it's lame. I don't watch NXT. So why do you torture yourself? I don't find anybody forcing you to click to watch my update videos. I give a lot of information that you have to pay for to hear for free. And there's a lot of fans. I never answer all the fan questions because there's too many every time. So a lot of people like them. So I suggest if you don't like the update videos, don't watch. You don't have to be a brain surgeon to figure that one out. As Real Life 315 says, love your videos. Thank you. And we'll end it at that. Other than this funny comment that they need to do a Dark Side of the Ring on Stu Hart's spatula. I'm going to hit the road, but when I get back from my run, I am going to do a video about my experiences training with Jacques Rougeau, just so I can let everyone know how it was from a more neutral perspective.